Right, if you haven't guessed it already, we are on a ferry and we are on our way to France. We're going to a really cool location. Behind me there is Finn Lewis, my good old mate who has never been fishing abroad before. He's been asking me for ages to take him, so now I am. We've got a mammoth journey ahead of us. Probably not going to get there till around about midnight. I won't film the whole journey because it will get a bit boring, but we've just set sail. A long slog ahead of us, but we're going to a pretty magical place, somewhere I've wanted to go to for ages, and somewhere I'm sure Finn is going to absolutely love. There he is, look, man in the moment. Look how excited he is. It wasn't long and our ferry journey was over and we could not wait to get off. We bumped into a couple of carp anglers on the way, had a chat with them, bid them farewell, and then it was into the van and on our way. Travelling into France via the ferry or the train had been a nightmare in recent times, and this trip was going to be no different, with massive queues, which would only add to the time it would take us to get to our destination. Eventually though, we were on the road and about to embark on the longest journey I have ever made through Europe, but a journey that I was fully expecting to be worth every second. After many long and tedious hours travelling, we eventually started to see signs of our destination. A quite incredible sight for two carp anglers from the UK, thick green forest and the huge towering mountains of the Alps. We were getting close, but our journey was far from over, and as the sun set around us, we were quite literally in awe as we travelled long into dark before eventually arriving at a lake that would take us both by surprise. Right, what a place this is. People absolutely everywhere. The lake is behind me now. Whoa. Yeah, this is public. Very, very public. But we found where we need to be. We're at the lake, we're at the right lake. We've got to somehow get our kit to the swim, where at the moment there's about 20 kids sitting. It's gonna be fun, but we are finally here after a hell of a day driving. Hell of a day. I'm glad to be out of that car. That is for sure. But yeah, look, check this out. People everywhere. Needn't have brought any food by the look of this. Well, saying that, it is shut at the moment, but...
Someone just maybe spent 84 euros on cereal.
Finn is not happy because I made him buy a cereal at the shop.
Loads of fucking cereal.
Yeah, I bought everything else and he's moaning he had to buy a box of cereal, but never mind. I feel like this is an episode of Benidorm or something.
That's it.
At least if the fishing goes to shit, we can take up golf. Or whatever game it is these lot are playing. Right, we're gonna unload the car. Van. Get all our bits and pieces sorted. And probably catch up with you in the morning because we've got a bit of a mission ahead of us. And we don't really know how we're gonna do it yet, but unless anything exciting happens, which there's every chance it could, we will see you in the morning. Well, what a sight we have woken up to. And if you think I'm talking about the mountains, you are wrong, because that is far outshadowed by the crazy nature of this place. I said last night it was not quite what we expected. It is awesome, don't get me wrong, but there are hundreds of people absolutely everywhere. Swimmers, canoeists, sailors, sunbathers, you name it, we've got it here. And somewhere in this lake are lots of big carp. We got set up last night We stayed in bed a little bit later than planned because we were absolutely shattered, and this is what we awoke to. Camp Carnage is just over here to my left. We had a lovely gazebo up, but the police have just been round and told us we've got to take that down, so that's a shame, but we're in a position now where we can start getting some rods in the water, and I can't wait. And this here, just a reference, is Camp Carnage. Look how prepared we are. We're staying here for 5 days, so we've brought all the luxuries, beach towels, chairs, there's the gazebo. We've even bought some sun cream. It's gonna be 32 degrees today, so really, really warm. Let's get stuck in, eh? Look at this, grass snake eating a perch. You ever seen that before? Right, I've just put the drone up, flown around the lake, got some lovely shots of the mountains and the lake, and I've seen massive clouds, which at first I thought was carp. On closer inspection, I think it's actually grass carp. In fact, I'm pretty much certain it's grass carp. They're showing constantly, like big clouds, and then they're just boshing out amongst it all. There's swimmers going through them, and it looks like there could be an opportunity to actually go out there with a GoPro and a snorkel and go and look at them. So I'm gonna do that because I've never done anything like that before, certainly not on a freshwater lake anyway. And part of me also thinks that amongst those grass carp could well be carp, because the bottom was really churned up, and I'm sure grass carp and carp will knock around together. And that disturbance, whether it's caused, if it's caused by grass carp, I'm sure will attract carp as well. So I'm gonna go out there with the snorkel and see what's what, which would be fun, wouldn't it? Right, I've got my flippers, got my boat. I'm going to go over there and see what I can see. Wish me luck. Right, I bored myself up in the bush. Flippers are on. And I can still see them showing, so I'm going to jump out the boat, swim out to them and see what we can see. Right amongst them, but I just can't see them. Clarity's not quite good enough, I don't think. And there's every chance they're swimming away from me as well. Well and truly beaten by the grass carp, I decided to head back to the bank as we had carp to catch. The lake was getting really busy by this point, and if we wanted to get our rods out, we were going to have to act fast. So as quick as we could, we got everything rigged up and ready. I'd noticed crayfish in the margin the night before, so because of that, decided to add a tiger nut to the top of all of my wafters, just a little fail safe. If they did eat the wafter, there's a good chance the tiger would survive. Before too long, we were in the position where we were ready to get rigs into the water, and to the boat, I attached the echo sounder. The lake is quite weedy, it's not as clear as I thought it was going to be, and with that in mind, it always helps to have that as a little aid once you get out there. And one by one, we spread our rods out across the swim. We had a lot of water to cover, and as I often do on these trips, we decided to alternate the rods. So Finn's rod, then my rod, then Finn's rod, then my rod, etc, etc. We plan to cover as much ground as possible, fishing a variety of different depths, and once out in the boat with the echo sounder, we drove around the lake looking for clear areas amongst the weed. We hadn't seen anything at this stage. There were windsurfers, paddle boarders, all sorts, all over the place, and we just needed to get our rods on clean ground as quickly and as effectively as possible. And with that in mind, decided just to drop the rigs down and chuck a few handfuls of bait over the top, just enough for a bite. And if we were lucky to get one, we could work from there. Hey, you got the line! Hey, you, stop, you got the line! Right, if you haven't guessed it already, we are on a ferry, and we are on our way to France. We're going to a really cool location. Behind me there, it's Finn Lewis, my good old mate who has never been fishing abroad before. The wind's blowing towards the bank as well. I don't know how you could possibly manage that. You're gonna need the crimp pliers, mate.
Instead of taking the piece, hold the down.
Right, well, we have had a rather busy night. 4 bites between us. Obviously, I lost the first one. This is my consolation prize, and one of only a handful of commons in the lake. In the boat. Right, this is fast becoming one of those sessions that you really don't want to experience too often. Is going wrong. We've just had the most savage boat battle out there in the wind. I don't know how strong it is, but it was insane. Finn just said to me, is it always this stressful? And it has been stressful this entire trip. It has been stressful, to say the least. I'm laughing now, but I'm crying inside.